How's it going, everybody? Couple people on here already. What were you guys waiting for me? That's awesome. Maybe you got notification beforehand or something. If you're here, let me know that you're here. Just realizing I'm obviously very late tonight. I was on the phone with my mom. She is in Minnesota, and obviously I don't really get to see her for Mother's Day ever. So we were calling to wish her a happy Mother's Day. She was working today. She recently switched careers and is working on nursing now. So uh, she was working all day and finally got to get a hold of her tonight. So good to talk to her, and it was really, really fun um, just to got to talk to both my grandmas today too, which is a pretty rare occurrence. Got to talk to my mom, and then obviously spend the day with the family, which is very fun as well. So, how are you guys doing? Just wanted to check in with all of you. I'm not going to be on very long because I'm just dead tired. Hopefully, this will be the last week where we will have gone through this whole editing process for church. It's looking we're in the planning stages of hopefully meeting together this week in live and in person, which will be a very, very welcome change for me. Uh, I do enough video editing, and I'm actually starting not to like it because I've done so much video editing lately. But that being said, it's just been it's been a blessed time, very much so. Uh, Man, a lot of comments here already. Sorry, let me just check in with y'all. Todd's here, Kelly's here, Meatloaf's in the house. She says, yes, Mama Ladisaw. Yeah, my wife, obviously. She's like, she's a superhero mom around these parts. Uh, Mother of four young children, and she is just doing a lot of good stuff for herself lately. She's like on top of the whole teaching the children. She's doing really good with them. Both our oldest are learning to read, and our third one is starting to gear up for homeschooling and all that kind of stuff. My wife, well, she didn't. She started working out like before I did, and then she allowed me to come and join her, and she's just doing awesome. Much appreciated. I very, very much appreciate her as a mother. Sorry, I'm going through here, looking through all my stuff. More about my wife, actually. I I think about this often. If something would ever, like, she's so essential to the family, just from a practical perspective. Obviously, I love her very, very much, but from a practical perspective, like, basically none of the stuff that I do is possible if she's not here. She is just an integral part of my life. I just don't know where I'd be without her. And our children, obviously, my life would drastically change if she wasn't here. So, very, very thankful for my wife. So, big shout out. Happy Mother's Day to her. I've told her many times today, but yeah, anyways. How do you guys celebrate? I know there's a lot of difficulty too. I actually had a couple of people message me today asking me to pray for them because there's a lot of people who, um, for whatever reason, haven't been able to have children, um, or it's kind of a sad day for them because maybe they've had miscarriages, or they've had different bad situations with their mothers in the past, and so it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to me as a pastor. Obviously, from a personal perspective, Mother's Day is fine. Although neither one, my wife and I, we don't really celebrate we kind of call them the Hallmark holidays. Like, we don't do much of anything for Valentine's Day. We don't really do much for Mother's Day or Father's Day. We might get some special food or whatever, and the kids normally make me something for Father's Day and make her something for Mother's Day, but it's not like a big to do. It's more of just a acknowledgement, a thankfulness. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag for me. I don't normally do anything in church for Mother's Day because there are a lot of people where Mother's Day is not a happy time. It's a sad time because maybe they lost their mother or their mother was really terrible to them or whatever. And so I don't focus on it a whole lot. But that being said, it's still obviously like it's one of the commandments, right? Honor your father and mother, and so it's not a negative thing at all. It's just hard for some people. So, but I don't know what your experience is. I don't know, how do you celebrate Mother's Day, or like do you have any memories of it? It's not even that old of a holiday actually. It's a little over 100 years old. Um, I looked up the history of it last year. I think I did, and the lady who originally she had like a memorial service for her mom and just like a service to honor her after she passed away. And her mom, it was something to do with the Civil War. Her mom was integral in calling the mothers across the United States to kind of push for peace, I believe was the story. And then she was actually really upset when Mother's Day, well, it got designated as a holiday, which she was fine with and pushed for that. But then when the companies started to take over and they started doing Mother's Day gifts and cards and all these kinds of things, she actually petitioned against Mother's Day because she was so upset that it was becoming commercialized and it was losing its value for what she originally intended, which was, she said, people should write to their mothers and tell them what they're thankful for and not worry about gifts and all that kind of stuff, and don't let it become commercialized. So it was very interesting. But anyway, let's have a different conversation. Do you guys have any stories that you want to tell? Any questions that you have? Any of those kinds of things? Armstrong County going into the yellow. That's very exciting, coming up this week. And then our commissioners stepping up big and just saying, hey, go ahead and open now. You don't have to. They're not going to prosecute anyone that wants to open. They said just be safe, follow the CDC guidelines, and go be adults about the whole thing. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty cool that our DA did that and our county commissioners. Melissa's in the house. Paul's here. Todd says, "Where's the wife?" She's actually working on homeschool stuff because of course she is. She's preparing for all of her lesson planning for the upcoming weeks. So. Melissa says, "I'm so ready to be back together. Looks like it's going to happen soon. We'll have an announcement coming out early this week, probably tomorrow or Tuesday, and we'll make sure that we get you plenty of time so you know what's going on. I plan to actually make a video about it, just kind of explaining to people the different guidelines. We talked over a couple hours on Saturday as a board, and we're kind of doing the final checks and prep before we actually announce it. But very, very soon we'll be meeting together again." Let's see. Any of the children get expelled from school yet? No, but there's probably been a couple of close moments. There's definitely times where school is not going well, and so then you maybe take a break. Or the nice thing about homeschool is if you need to take a day off, you can do that too. And so that's happened before. Let's see here. Jean says, "Pray for me. I feel like I'm getting distant from God." Well, turn around, man. You don't have to be distant from God. He's right there waiting for you. Why don't you come on and join the Bible studies we're doing throughout the week and get yourself reconnected. Let's see here. Todd says she needs to come out and see all this love out to her. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if she'll come out, but maybe she'll check this out afterwards and she'll see all the love. Melissa says, my mom got a Dairy Queen cake from the kids. Very cool. We got Dairy Queen tonight too. We got Harper's Grill and Dairy Queen. I think my wife might be sneaking the Dairy Queen right now. She saved her Blizzard, so she's probably gonna eat it tonight. Todd says, I don't celebrate Mother's Day. Rough child life, but hey, I stay positive. You're definitely not alone, Todd. That's, like I said, that's kind of why I steer clear of making too big a deal out of it, at least from a church perspective, because it's a lot of people's story. Melissa says, you, of course. Oh, who's the favorite? I see. Okay. All right. Tim's in the house too. I see that. Paul says, does that mean churches can reopen? Yes. Gatherings are now allowed in the yellow phase. And it's well, churches were never technically closed. It was just gatherings of no more than 10 people was the guideline in the red phase. But like I said, Armstrong County has kind of blown up the guidelines altogether. But we can definitely meet now, and we're planning to do social distancing, do all those kinds of things. We'll have some extra checking to make sure that everyone is staying safe. It's not going to be like overbearing or anything like that, but we do want to at least cover our bases and do as good a job as we can to just make sure that everyone is practicing safety and that we're not putting people at risk. That's the very last thing that we want to do. Let's see here. Jean says, I made lasagna for Kelly for Mother's Day. Well, that's good. Big fan of lasagna, for sure. Todd says, what is one of your funniest moments being a pastor? Let's see. That's a good question. I think that it would have to be, it's probably with like baptisms. Like our baptism days are really fun. It's not like a stodgy ceremony at all. We just treat it like a celebration among family. That somebody is saying they want to publicly proclaim that they belong to Jesus. And so our baptism days are always really fun. And one of my friends, Joe Griffith, who passed away a couple years ago, he wanted to be baptized. And Joe is about 3 times my size. And so I went to dunk him in the water and pull him out. And basically, when he went down, I almost went down with him. And he came up out of the water, and he was laughing so hard, and the whole congregation was laughing so hard, and it was just like this amazing celebration. And then when he passed away, I preached the funeral, and it was just it was the most joyous funeral I've ever been a part of. Obviously, we really missed him, but at the same time, it was like he was just so loving and so full of life. It was just, and we knew where he was, you know. So we were sad for ourselves, but we were really happy for him. And so I don't know. I just made that into a sappy story. He was supposed to be funny, but that was just a really funny moment. I'll never forget Tina as well. She's one of my coworkers, and she got in. And one of our questions that we always ask is, "Why do you want to be baptized?" Because we want to give people an opportunity to kind of tell their story. And Tina gets up there, so why do you want to be baptized? And she goes, "I just wanted to get in the pool with you." I'll never forget that either. It's really funny. That was before she worked for me or anything. So, but it's just it was a really, really good time. All of our baptisms are that way, though. It's just it's a joyous family occasion. So, let's see here. Let's see. Miss you too, Melissa. As far as hugs go, I think that's still going to be technically off limits. We're going to encourage people not to shake hands or hug. That'll be one of the guidelines for sure. But soon enough, I'm sure we'll get into that phase. Melissa says, "I'll try to come if I'm feeling okay. That's kind of far to drive right now." Yeah, totally understand. Take your time too. We'll still have the sermons up online. They may not be video initially, but we'll definitely have we're planning to have the full audio service up. So we used to just have the sermon up, but we should have the worship and the sermon. So that'll be good too. Melissa says, "Are we still getting baptism in the river when I want to get baptized?" That is the plan. Although we could also use the baptismal in the church for the first time. We have one now like built into the stage, which is really cool. But I'm totally cool with the river as well. And if we're still planning to do it in June at some point, then that will be, it should be warm enough at that point too. So it'd be good. Todd says, "Do you ever pull pranks or jokes on your kids? You know, being a parent, that is your duty." Not really. And my kids are onto my sense of humor now. And so much so that they will call me out before the joke is even complete. And then sometimes they'll call me out when I wasn't even joking. And so they will just say, "You're just joking. You're just joking." And even Malachi, he's 2, and he says it so loud and obnoxious. He's like, "You're just joking." Like whenever I am doing something that he thinks or perceives as a joke. And so it's really, really fun. But I don't really like try to scare them or do any of that kind of stuff because I never enjoyed that as a child. So I try to not do any of that kind of stuff to them. All right, guys. I'm tired. I got a couple things I still have to do. I was planning to come on for 15 minutes. It's been 17 minutes and 43 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Like I said, make sure that if you're interested in what's going on at Living Water, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and then we'll make sure that you get a timely announcement in plenty of time for next week. Sorry, there's a bunch of comments coming in here. Instead of I don't recall ever doing a vaping PSA. Oh, a good suggestion for Armstrong High School. Okay. I understand now. Paul says, "Are you still doing Summer of Serve?" Yes, absolutely. We're working on the details of that still. Obviously, we're a little bit behind on the planning because it hasn't been a real conducive time to go door to door knocking. But we're going to be working on that in the coming weeks. And yes, we'll have Summer Serve. It may not be the same as it was before, but we're definitely planning on doing it. So stay tuned for that as well. All right. Love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you next Sunday night. Hopefully I will be more on time next time, but no promises. But I definitely will have more videos coming out this week. Got the difficult video done on Friday, and then I have several easy ones coming. So I would anticipate many uploads this week, and I'm very excited about that too. All right, guys. See you later. Have a good one.